what do you make of this idea that O'Mahony's now Ireland captain, but with his contract ticking down with just a few months left?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I've tried to follow it, but I'm just a bit like you in terms of I'm a fan at this stage, and I'm on and reading articles and hearing one or two things on the radio or on the television. But it's a very, very strange set of circumstances that at this stage, Munster's most important player, a legendary player, a guy who has given so much to the provinces in this position, I find it nearly as an ex-player distressing, because it represents poorly on everybody, no matter what this outcome is now. The damage for me, it's done, and the fact that how has it got to this stage and why hasn't it been sorted? I mean, if it's a disappointment that he's gone from a national contract to a provincial contract, yeah, Peter can have internal dismay at that, but for the fact that there isn't a contract of anything sorted, it reflects very, very poorly, and I think it's just from outside. Munster have lost an awful lot of good men in the kind of the management team, or sorry, in the executive and in the board over the last number of years, where it's very, very disappointing that this has been played out in the national media.
Yeah.
You're talking about Munster. This is one of the best clubs in the world. What's happening? Why is it this? It's Peter O'Mahony. It's given his body, his life, his soul to Munster. He's a one-club man. He wants to finish there. Why not create a brilliant story around him?
Yeah, and you would think for Peter O'Mahony as well, he will say, and I think he said last week, that he's fully focused on the Six Nations and the rest of the season with Munster. But
he has to say that.
It has to be in your mind. It has to be in the back of your mind, though, doesn't it?
Of course, it is. The most important thing for a rugby player, from my point of view, are playing for your country and your contract. They're the two things that matter. Anything else, then you can work with the player. But unless they have that ambition or they're playing for their country, there's something that annoys them, whether they think that they're better than they are and they should be playing. You always want them playing for their country, and then the guys that are played, you want them starting for their country. And then the most important thing, which people sometimes get offended with, is that players and agents try hard to get their players the best deal. That's their job. Don't get offended by that. That's what they need to do. It's an open market. It's a professional game. There's the capacity to be poached by someone, playing mega bucks, take them out of a contract. That happens in the game. It's not like that. The same rules for soccer in a global market don't apply for rugby, but for someone like Munster, especially how they've gone the last 10 years, this is their rock.